Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you for coming today. So today I'll be talking about APA ethics code and I'll be going over a scenario that the ethics code could be applied. So just for some quick background, an APA is a very prominent psychology organization in the world, and they created these ethic codes to help mental health professionals make just decisions. And so the first thing I'll be going over is the 5 general principles. So principle A is beneficence and non-maleficence. Principle B is fidelity and responsibility. Principle C is integrity. Principle D is justice. And principle E is respect for people's rights and dignity. And there's also ethical standards. So there's 10 ethical standards or rules of conduct. And what happens when these codes are broken? Basically, you apply for a license, and when you break these codes, you might be subject to having your license revoked. And so Section 1 is resolving ethical issues, Section 2 is competence, Section 3 is human relations, Section 4 is privacy and confidentiality, Section 5 is advertising and other public statements, Section 6 is record keeping and fees, Section 7 is education and training, Section 8 is research and publication, Section 9 is assessment, and Section 10 is therapy. So I wanted to introduce a potential scenario where these ethical codes could be looked at. And so let's pretend that you happen to be in the lobby when you overhear the receptionist ask the client whether or not they have insurance. And here, the client declines having insurance and is told to call an appointment since they do not accept walk-ins. However, right after this, another person goes to the receptionist with their insurance card in hand and is accepted into an appointment immediately. You see this, so you go up to the receptionist and ask about the situation, and she replies that this is agency policy. So let's look at some other instances where this is factually true. So it's been proven by Curry et al. 2021 that there are differences in access for those looking for physical therapy and having Medicaid versus private insurance. So 52.7% accept Medicaid, while 95% accept private insurance. In the case of Kasiki and Yilmaz, they ran a qualitative study on insurance disparities for breast cancer treatment, and they found that private insurance patients had a much easier time receiving quick and holistic treatment. So I wanted to kind of quickly talk about my own personal reactions and beliefs. I believe that this is an unfair agency policy, as why would someone without insurance not be able to schedule an appointment, while someone with insurance is? And I think it's akin to discriminating on socioeconomic status, as I do think there is potentially a correlation between socioeconomic status and being able to afford insurance. And I do think everyone should be treated the same way regardless of their status of insured or uninsured. I do understand that this could be potentially a murky or tricky scenario, as those who are insured are probably able to pay for the services at hand. Although this is an assumption, because there could be very wealthy uninsured clients. Another area of ethical dilemma is that insurance clients also probably make up the bulk of their businesses, and so it might behoove the company to offer incentives to them as a business, like people offer discounts on merchandise, but I don't think you can equate accepting walk-in appointments to discount on merchandise. And lastly, some people might say that you pay premium prices for front row tickets to a game or to cut the line at events like Disneyland, but I don't think that having insurance is akin to that. And so I would say this is in direct violation of APA Ethical Codes 3.01 unfair discrimination, and that the policy is breaking an APA ethics code. And my own personal beliefs line up with the APA ethics code. And so what ethical principles are being broken here? The first one that I saw was broken was justice. So by not giving equal treatment to those with insurance and those without insurance, they are failing to provide equal access to those who need services. I also think that respect for people's rights and dignity are being broken here. As I mentioned before, those who may not have access to insurance may belong to different socioeconomic groups, and it's not respectful to people's socioeconomic status to deny them entry to same-day appointments. And lastly, the principle of beneficence and non-maleficence is broken by saying those who are uninsured may need help immediately, while those, and that is agency policy. Thus, it could cause harm to those people. And so what would I do if I encountered this situation in real life? I would figure out why that policy was made to begin with. I would state why I believe it is unethical, potentially bringing up the APA ethical codes, and bring this up to appropriate authorities like a supervisor or the APA board. Again, I would flag this to the board itself, and then I would tell patients that this has been flagged and that we are waiting to hear back on the situation. And here's just some references on what we presented today. If you liked the channel and the presentation, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.